What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. I'm your boy NarikChase, and in this video we're going to be reviewing The Queen of the Damned. Forgive my wrinkled shirt, had it balled up over there, knowing I was supposed to use the record, but it's okay. I'm gonna rep this bad boy anyway. So, The Queen of the Damned is the third installment in the Vampire Chronicles, written by Anne Rice and was debuted in 1988, I believe. And the story follows the ancient vampire Akasha, who is awakened and seeks to rule humanity and targets Lestat as her king. Now, as her violent crusade spreads, surviving vampires unite to stop her world shaping vision. I got to admit, look, I walked into this book really going off what I knew of the films, Interview with the Vampire, as well as the Queen of the Damned film. I hadn't really read any of the other works. I have read some of Interview with the Vampire, but outside of that, I didn't really know much about the lore outside the limited bit that I did know. But as I read this book, I have to say this book was absolutely fantastic. Now, there was a lot of references to things that happened in previous books that I didn't understand. And again, there are a lot of things that happened in the films, and that were taken out of the adaptation. So yeah, there was a lot of nuances that that I didn't catch, but there were a lot of things where I do kind of well enough to kind of follow along with it. But having said that, The Queen of the Damned is actually a really good book, and it's a good book in a lot of interesting ways. First of all, one of the most perhaps the best aspect of this film are the characters. Anne Rice does a fantastic job with just getting inside the thoughts of the characters, letting you know how they think, how they feel, the cost of immortality, just the very philosophical and psychological effects that these characters deal with their vampire nature. I thought it was a lot more philosophical and how each character seemed to come to it in a different way. And Lestat is definitely one of my favorite characters. But I actually gravitated to a lot of the other characters. Mine I thought was actually pretty awesome. I like Marius. I like Gabrielle. I like Louis. I keep wanting to call him Louis because of the movie, but his name's Louis. And I love the relationships that they had, and just a lot of the philosophical aspect of their inner thoughts was actually really good. But it was also as the conversations that they had. I really dig dialogue, and I think they did a really good amount of great dialogue between the characters. And surprisingly enough, Akasha, I actually really liked her. She was very interesting. Yes, she was mad crazy and everything, but she was very interesting and a really deep character. Her motivations made sense. The relationship that she builds with Lestat was actually really cool. The relationships with the other characters was really cool. Her plan was actually pretty interesting. And just overall, I just thought the story was actually really good. And overall, I was really invested because this is a bit of an origin story for the vampires of this world, and I was really invested with uh, the a lot of the information dumps and all the flashbacks that we do get in the film. The characters were interesting enough, so when I was going through this, I was actually invested in every bit of what I was seeing. Now there are some slow bits here and there, but I did, and it wasn't like they're bad, slow or anything. But it does slow down from time to time with some of the flashbacks. But I thought they was still interesting nonetheless. Another interesting thing that I actually came to understand about this is the world building aspect, because there are a lot of supernatural elements that take place in the story that I didn't even really realize was a part of this world, such as like the ghost and astral and projecting oneself, and just it was just a lot of really cool things that were happening that just opened my eyes to what the world of the Vampire Chronicles has to offer. It was actually more, like I said, it was more in depth than just vampires, and I really dug that. Now, Anne Rice as a writer, this is my major my first real thing to sit down and just grade her on this. I actually really enjoy the writing. She does. I feel like she understands the characters. She gives the characters their unique voices. She has a great job of diving into their inner thoughts. She does a great job of actually establishing dialogue. The story itself was actually really cool. It felt meaningful. It felt like it had weight. It felt very thoughtful and thought provoking. So I really, really, really dug that. And I got to admit that I really enjoyed the audio book. I thought the production was actually done really well. It doesn't have like sound effects or anything, but the narration was done excellently. I have enjoyed Simon Vance. I think Simon Vance definitely is one of the best audiobook narrators. I've enjoyed his work with the Millennium series. I've enjoyed his work with some other books, but he does a really good job. He tells the story in a compelling way. He's good with the pacing. He's great with diversifying the characters, making them feel distinct. Just all around, just a great experience. I really didn't have a bad time with this, outside of maybe some slow pace here and there. But other than that, I thought that this was just a great read. I like the characters. I like the story. I like the dialogue. I thought the writing and the direction was really good. It was interesting idea. A lot of really thought provoking concepts in the story. The narration itself was really, really good. This is definitely a must read for fans of vampire lore, and I could definitely see why Anne Rice is considered one of the top dogs in terms of writing vampire lore and books in general. Having said that, the Queen of the Damned definitely deserves 5 out of 5. This is definitely going on my it's just on my best books of all time, and I definitely need to dive more into the Vampire Chronicles. It's definitely been helmed as one of the best series, and I feel like I've just done pretty much a disservice with just reading one book. So in the comment section, guys, let me know. Have you read The Queen of the Damned? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What are some great recommendations when it comes to not only the Vampire Chronicles, but also overall Anne Rice's bibliography? Be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what we got going on this channel. And we'll definitely catch you guys later.